Good morning. Welcome to our case study on Under Armour. I'm Heston Page, and I'm honored to present this analysis to you today on behalf of Daniel Iosu, Tyler Lytle, Brenda Rodriguez, and myself. To introduce, Under Armour is an American clothing brand started in Maryland. They make athletic apparel designed to be worn for workouts, team sports, and outdoor activities. Under Armour also has a software business with connected fitness that includes a variety of applications to help consumers be healthier. Under Armour is currently struggling with and competing against Nike and Adidas in North America. Under Armour also sponsors many teams and athletes such as UCLA, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Jordan Spieth, and Tom Brady. Under Armour's lack of international presence does not help with their struggles domestically. Our agenda today will start with a brief introduction to the team before reviewing Under Armour's vision and mission along with our proposed revisions. Next, we will walk through external and internal assessments and a SWOT analysis. Then we will wrap up the presentation with our recommendations and conclusion of our strategic evaluation. So this is our team. Our team leader was Brenda, and you can see her picture right there. And then Dan, myself, and Tyler, we were all teammates, and we felt like we worked very close and well together as a team. Team Under Armour is comprised of professionals and students who all brought their expertise to the group to understand and analyze Under Armour's research and development, operations, financial position, and overall strategy. The team divided the case somewhat like eating an elephant, one bite at a time. We split into two teams within the team for efficient workflow and a high level of accountability for hitting targets and deliverables that were agreed upon by our team. We met once per week on a Zoom call and collaborated through shared Google working documents in between. We found this strategy worked well for our group.
Under Armour is an American clothing brand started in Maryland in 1996 by Kevin Plank. He was a former University of Maryland football player who developed the first Under Armour product, a moisture-wicking compression undershirt, out of frustration for wearing sweat-soaked cotton t-shirts under his football gear. Today, their products are sold worldwide and are worn by athletes at all levels, from youth to professional, on playing fields around the globe, as well by consumers with active lifestyles. Their principal business activities are the development, marketing, and distribution of branded performance apparel, footwear, and accessories for men, women, and youth. The brand's performance apparel and footwear are engineered in many designs and styles for wear in nearly every climate to provide a performance alternative to traditional products. Under Armour's net revenues are generated primarily from wholesale sales of their products to national, regional, independent, and specialty retailers and distributors. They also generate revenue from direct-to-consumer sales, which includes branded stores and websites, product licensing, digital platform licensing, and subscriptions, as well as digital advertising through their Connected Fitness business, a software business with connected fitness that includes a variety of applications to help consumers be healthier. The large majority of their products are sold in North America. However, they believe that their products appeal to athletes and consumers with active lifestyles around the globe. Internationally, their net revenues are generated from a mix of wholesale sales to retailers and distributors and sales through direct-to-consumer sales channels and license revenue from sales by third-party licensees. Product offerings consist of apparel, footwear, and accessories for men, women, and youth. Products are marketed at multiple price points to provide customers with what they believe are a superior alternative to traditional athletic products. In 2017, sales of apparel, footwear, and accessories represented 66%, 21%, and 9% of net revenues, respectively. Licensing arrangements, primarily for the sale of their products and revenue from our Connected Fitness business, represented the remaining 4% of net revenues. Marketing and promotion strategy begins with providing and selling our products to high-performing athletes and teams on the high school, collegiate, and professional levels. They execute this strategy through outfitting agreements, professional collegiate sponsorships, individual athlete agreements, and by providing and selling products directly to team equipment managers and individual athletes. As a result, their products are seen on the field, giving them exposure to various consumer audiences throughout the internet, television, magazines, and live at sporting events. This exposure to consumers helps them establish on field authenticity as consumers see their products being worn by high performing athletes. Under Armour competes directly and aggressively with Nike and Adidas in North America. Their current vision statement: to inspire you with performance solutions you never knew you needed and can't imagine living without. We saw this, we thought it was concise, unique, and inspiring, but wasn't exactly clear on what they were trying to achieve or looking towards the future.
So for the revised vision statement, we came up with to inspire you with performance solutions and gear you never knew you needed and can't imagine living without. So the Under Armour vision statement is found easily on their website, and they make sure that they address their vision for sports and their vision for the world itself. They have a good vision statement because they address issues such as social equality, the need to fight together, and their appreciation and love for athletes. I believe that they did a good job addressing their values for athletics and sports, but also addressing their values for problems existing outside of sports. One thing that I would add to the vision statement is how Under Armour is working to better the world. They do a good job addressing what they believe needs to be fixed in the world, and it would be even better if they've provided a link that customers can use in order to see how Under Armour is addressing these issues that they describe. Yeah, and then this is their current mission statement, to make all athletes better through passion, design, and relentless pursuit of innovation. The Under Armour mission statement is simple and it relates to its brand. It is clear that Under Armour is a sports athletics company by their mission statement, and it is clear that they want to make athletes better through their products. They make it clear that athletes will have an advantage by using their products because they're designed in a relentless pursuit of innovation. Their customers are competitive athletes as well as anyone who works out for their health. Currently, Under Armour is struggling to create an international presence and taking the next step to become a worldwide brand. They also do not touch on what differentiates themselves compared to other athletic wear companies. It does not touch on its employees either and why Under Armour should attract top talent. One suggestion I would make to the mission statement is adding that Under Armour wants to provide athletes with products that allow them to work on their craft and become better themselves.
We do believe this mission statement is missing a few key criteria that they should hit. In terms of customers, they do state that it is competitive athletes as well as anyone who works out for their health. There's no mention of their products. They should mention their gear, clothing, or footwear. In terms of markets, it does not say where it wants to compete, and we do believe that they should say globally, as that's the market they are trying to gain more control of. In terms of technology, they talk about design, but not what makes their product unique. For survival and growth, there's no mention of their commitment to grow or financials. There is no mention of values or ethics in terms of philosophy. In terms of distinctive competence, they don't touch on what differentiates themselves compared to other athletic wear companies, which is very important because they used to have that, and now it seems that other competition has caught up. No mention of social, community, or environmental concerns. And it does not touch on why employees should work at Under Armour or why they should attract top talent. So we came up with a revised mission statement that reads, to make athletes of all ages better through the design and innovation of our products using the latest technology to expand globally and be the market leader of athletic wear, to make a better world by reducing the environmental impact of our corporations and operations. And we are committed to protecting worker rights and stand for equity while thriving financially.
So next, for our external assessment, we performed an external assessment of Under Armour with many strong opportunities and significant threats. So the higher weighted opportunities reflect factors that are relatively important to the success of Under Armour. And then these ones include that a significant percentage of customers want companies to take a stand on current issues, such as sustainability, transparency, and fair employee practices. And e-commerce in all industries grew 15% in 2016 versus 3% growth of retail sales, direct-to-customer market primed for growth. And then next, the Global Industry Analytics Inc. predicts that the global market for sports and fitness clothing is projected to reach $231.7 billion by 2024, which we stated before, and this is a huge opportunity for Under Armour to reach. And the next, connected fitness market expansion. And then next, 80% of customers will purchase a product because a company advocated for an issue they cared about. So especially in today's day and age, millennials and people across the board want to see companies take stands on certain social issues and see that they care about the issues that the customer cares about. And then next, there's also some lower weighted opportunities, and these include the value of the dollar is decreasing, and then international revenue could grow. So while we felt this was important, we didn't feel like we should have weighted as highly as some of the other ones. And then Euromonitor International reports that sales of sportswear is growing faster than any other apparel or footwear category. Again, we thought it was important, but not as important as the category that we listed previously. And then next, athletics leisure grew over 40% between 2009 and 2016. And again, we felt like all of these were important, but we needed to rate them a little bit lower on our scale. Next, there's certain strategies that would allow Under Armour to capitalize on its major opportunities. First, they could cut some stores and invest in their online presence to sell more. It's also, it'll also allow them to monitor customer trends. Especially in today's day and age, the online market is really becoming larger. It's where a lot of people do the main majority of their shopping, so they need to capitalize on that. Next, they could invest in their international market share, especially in the Middle East, Africa, Asia, and Russia, and again, expand globally, which is something that they have not done too successfully to this point. Next, market aggressively at leisure and sportswear clothes to follow customer trends. A lot of people like to wear sports clothes even if they're not working out, so they can provide a leisure brand that people can wear when they're just relaxing around their house or doing something like that. Next, invest in shoes for men, since they are their biggest market share, and since men tend to buy more tennis shoes than kids and females, Under Armour has a big opportunity to focus on that market share and really try to benefit from that disproportion. And last, promote how they are supporting the environment and social issues their customers care about. Again, customers want to see that companies care about the same issues that they do. And if Under Armour takes the correct stance on this, it will really pull in certain customers and show them that Under Armour cares about the same issues that they do. So next we have the threats we determined to have relatively high importance for being successful in the industry. And therefore we gave these weights higher, and these are the ones that we determined should have higher weights than other ones. First, sponsorship designations could become more costly. Key element of Under Armour's marketing consists of licensing agreements with various professional and collegiate sports teams. And if these become more costly, it's going to be more difficult for Under Armour to afford these sponsorships. Second, international regularity, environments in market volatility, political unrest, labor markets, currency rates, trade, tariffs, etc. Under Armour products manufactured in 17 different countries. So all these different regulations in different countries could get in Under Armour's way and give them problems that they didn't anticipate. Third, commodities, market volatility, oil and cotton supply / demand impacts the cost of materials. So a lot of Under Armour's products are made with oil and cotton. So if the price of oil or cotton increases, this is going to hurt Under Armour. And then next, many stores have their own store brands, increasing competition for floor space at major retailers. So with so many different stores now going into different retailers, it's more difficult for Under Armour to keep their spots in these retailers and continue to sell in retailers, which is another reason why we thought one of their strategies that they could implement was to focus online, because they don't have to fight for those shares. And last, decreased brand loyalty. Customers buy based on price or extra product features. People don't really care too much about brand loyalty anymore. If they think a product is better, despite the brand, they're going to buy it. So this is another threat to Under Armour. And then some threats with lower weights that we described are: first, Nike has doubled down on designing shoes on an individual basis. They have a Nike by U Studio in New York City. So Nike really gives customers the opportunity to design their own shoes, which is what a lot of people like, because they can customize and individualize their shoes. And they find that this is a very cool feature that Nike offers and Under Armour does not. Next, increased use of technology in sportswear. Google and Levi have partnered to produce a smart jacket worn by cyclists. So with the increase in technology, especially in the sports space, Under Armour really needs to keep up with this and stay ahead of the trend with certain technology and jackets, as we described before, even bracelets and what have you, to stay ahead of their competitors. Then last, competitors like Nike with their Nike ID have apps for customers to design their own shoes, apparel, bags, and other items online. So as we described before, Nike has really given customers the opportunity to individualize their products, and this is something that Under Armour does not. And then we have certain strategies that would allow Under Armour to improve upon its major threats. First, leverage lobbyists to impact international political relationships to promote Under Armour interests and provide accurate information related to potential changes to regulatory environments. Next, ensure marketing funds for retail channels are competitive to maintain retail footprint and defend against retailer brand products. Next, develop and deploy commodities and currency option strategy to provide effective protection against market volatility and currency fluctuation. Next, collect data on customer purchase trends and product feature preferences to forecast trends and pursue brand loyalty and keep ahead of trends. Explore product diversification to defend against margin compression. And then once we determine the weights of both the opportunities and threats, we rank them all on Under Armour's effectiveness in responding to these factors. We then multiply the weights and ratings of each opportunity and threat to determine weighted scores. The total weighted score is 2.23. Average scores of EFE matrices are 2.5, so Under Armour is less than average, which is not a good thing. Although their score of 2.23 is not terribly low, revising their current strategies to put them in stronger external position would increase their probability for sustained growth and success in the marketplace.
We have internal assessments, and we're starting with strengths. Some of the very important strengths of Under Armour are their multitude of product sales channels, such as direct-to-consumer, online, retail, and wholesale. Their products appeal to international consumers, and they're making a lot of headway in, in that area as international sales increase in the Middle East, Africa, and Asia Pacific. International sales represented 21.7% of Under Armour's total sales in 2017, up from 15.4% in 2016. The ability to sponsor professional athletes and have athletes endorse their products, such as Steph Curry, Michael Phelps, Bryce Harper, Tom Brady, and Lindsey Vonn. They've had a consistent increase in sales every year. In terms of net revenue, in billions of dollars. In 2014, it was 3.08. 2015 was 3.96. 2016, 4.83. 2017, 4.98. And 2018, 5.19. And most recently in 2019, it was 5.27. They've also offered a diversified range of products over the years, such as shoes, athletic clothes, water bottles, workout equipment, and as we talked about earlier, getting into the software business. Some of their lower weighted strengths are their diversified range of products, as we believe they need to focus on some of their more core competencies and what got them in here in the first place, and which was unique products, and the proven ability to consistently make innovative products that consumers choose. Once Under Armour came out with the first sweat wicking, what we think of athletic material shirt, that was revolutionary, and we believe they need to continue innovating to continue to separate themselves from competitors like Nike and Adidas, who have since caught up. Strategies that would allow Under Armour to capitalize on its internal strengths would be an increasing focus on getting their big name athletes to endorse their products. They've been able to get certain athletes to endorse their products and have been able to create products around these athletes. And they should double down on this and create more. Such as, Tom Brady is considered one of the greatest football players ever, yet he doesn't have an exclusive product line or exclusive shoe or cleat for Under Armour, which could be a very big opportunity. For weaknesses, the weaknesses we determined have relatively high performance for being successful in the industry and therefore gave higher weights. The net income dropped from $256 million to negative $48 million due to higher operating expenses and cost of goods sold, which went up 21% and 6% respectively. Market penetration is low in a critical product category. Under Armour only has 2.5% of the athletic footwear industry. Piper Jaffray survey concluded that 15% of upper income teen boys have stopped wearing Under Armour. The survey said that Nike, one of the most popular brand among all types of income, basically Under Armour in the past couple of years has become not as cool as other brands. And the fabrics Under Armour use are not unique to them anymore. They don't have patents on fabrics or processes. Therefore, other companies have caught up. While some of the lower ranked weaknesses are in 2018, they had a $1.3 billion leftover merchandise. It grew 11%. The impact of seasonality on operating profit can have a negative effect on Under Armour stock price. Quarterly fluctuations from seasonality might not accurately reflect performance to shareholders. Under Armour has been under investigation by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission and U.S. Department of Justice since 2017. They want to find out if Under Armour manipulated the numbers in each quarter to appear healthier, therefore committing fraud. We believe that the strategies that will allow Under Armour to improve upon its internal weaknesses. Since they don't have any patents, they should focus on the design of their clothes. And when they innovate, do patent that material and make it their intellectual property. They should limit the amount of inventory and do a better forecasting of what will sell more. They should attract more young customers and be more ethical about their reports to stakeholders. Once we determine the weights of both the strengths and weaknesses, we rank them all on Under Armour's effectiveness and responding to these factors. We then multiply the weights and ratings of each opportunity and threat to come up with weighted scores. We totaled the weighted scores and determined Under Armour's total weighted score is 2.55. Average scores of IFE matrices are 2.5. Under Armour's score of 2.55 indicates an average internal position, and they should consider refining their current strategies with prioritized focus on reallocating resources to improve upon their current strengths and address critical weaknesses.
are TOWS and SWOT Matrix. The SO strategies that we think Under Armour can use is to continue to expand reach overseas. 3 countries in Asia and 2 in Europe by using a similar distribution method that is used in the United States. Again, we think that this will help them expand their global outreach, which is one of their weaknesses. Second, sponsor 3 bigger named athletes. Under Armour should try to get an athlete such as Mike Trout, who is arguably the best baseball player in the MLB, Russell Wilson, who is arguably the best quarterback in the NFL, or James Harden, who is arguably the best basketball player in the NBA right now, to leave their current sponsor and join them. Sponsorships from athletes increase sales. And if they do this and get a shoe deal or something like this, we really think their sales will increase. Third, make products for different sports. If Under Armour is moving internationally, they should focus on making more products for sports such as cricket, which is popular in Australia, India, Pakistan, the West Indies, etc. They really need to expand their line of products if they're going to expand globally. Fourth, use 30% more of their advertising budget for social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, etc. This is really one of the most effective advertising platforms is through social media, and they'll really be able to reach more young people if they use this platform. And then for their WO strategies, first, increase men's shoe offerings by 20%. Again, we believe this will be beneficial because the majority of their shoe sales come from men, so they should really try to focus on this market. Second, grow 15% of athletic leisure apparel offerings. Again, as we mentioned earlier in this presentation, a lot of people like to wear athletic clothing just while lounging around the house. So if they expand this leisure apparel brand that they have, it will really benefit them. Third, close 50 outlet stores where 30% have the lowest sales to save on operating expenses. The majority of people like to buy their clothes and pretty much everything online, so they should really focus on their online market. And last, expand their product line and move into different markets. Under Armour can try to move into their protein powder market. With the brand recognition that is Under Armour, and especially with athletics, if they move into something like protein powder, we think it will be successful because of the brand recognition, and people will be more likely to buy it. And this is just moving into more markets equates to more sales. And then next for the TOWS or SWOT Matrix, we have the ST strategies, which is first, revamp the Under Armour website to personalize shopper recommendations to increase online sales. Second, invest in technology to create smart products, try to stay ahead of the curve so that they can be the brand that offers all of the technologically innovative products. Third, allow personalization of products to compete with Nike, especially with Nike ID, which is very popular among its customers. Under Armour needs to answer this somehow and offer some form of customization. Fourth, promote what the company is doing about issues that customers care about. We really think that this will be beneficial because by showing their customers what they're doing, they're going to be more likely to pull in those customers that care about the same issues. And then for the WT strategies, first, collect data on customer purchase trends and product feature preferences to forecast trends and pursue brand loyalty. Second, create a rewards membership program to retain and attract more customers. Rewards programs do an effective job in rewarding their customers, obviously, and giving them a reason to stay and buy more products. Third, market aggressively to teenagers using social medias, especially TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, to attract younger customers. The majority of advertising that young people are going to receive is through social media, so why not try to capitalize on that? Fourth, ensure marketing funds for retail channels are competitive to maintain retail footprint and defend against retailer branded products.
So our strategy recommendations for Under Armour is that they continue to expand reach overseas, 3 countries in Asia and 2 in Europe, by using a similar distribution method that is used in the United States. Use 30% more of their advertising budget for social media platforms to promote issues Under Armour cares about. Close 50 outlet stores, 30%, that had the lowest sales to save on operating expenses. Revamp Under Armour website to personalize shopper recommendations to increase online sales. Invest in technology to create smarter products. Collect data on customer purchase trends and product feature preferences to forecast trends and pursue brand loyalty. Create a rewards membership program to retain and attract more customers. Sponsor 3 bigger named athletes. Under Armour should try to get an athlete such as Mike Trout, Russell Wilson, or James Harden to leave their current sponsor and join them. Sponsorships from athletes increase sales. For the income statement overview and the financial analysis, net revenues for 2017 increased 3%. Wholesale revenue decreased 3%, and direct-to-consumer revenues increased 14%. Apparel, footwear, and accessories revenue increased 2%, 3%, and 10% respectively. Revenue in North America segment decreased 5%. Revenue in our Asia Pacific, EMEA, and Latin America segments grew 61%, 42%, and 28% respectively, with 11% growth in our Connected Fitness segment. Selling, general, and administrative expense increased 14%. License revenues increased 16.8%. This increase was driven primarily by increased distribution of licensed products in North America. Connected Fitness revenue increased 10.9%, primarily driven by increased subscribers of fitness applications and higher licensing revenue. Gross profit decreased $1.9 million to $2,238.7 million in 2017 from $2,240.6 million in 2016. The decrease in gross margin percentage was primarily driven by inventory management efforts, such as higher promotions and increased air freight. Expenses increased approximately 14% due to marketing costs and growth of international business and collegiate and professional athlete sponsorships, as well as higher costs incurred for the continued expansion of direct-to-consumer distribution channel and international business. For the projected income statement, looking at the projected income statement, our recommendations will result in Under Armour's financial position remaining flat in net revenues year over year in 2018 due to restructuring costs involved in closing underperforming branded retail locations and continued marketing and logistics investment into international growth. We expect gross revenue to increase by 4.5%, cost of goods sold to increase at a lower rate of 2.27%, while operating expenses increase by almost 2%. Subsequently, 2019 and 2020 will bear the fruits of capital investment and strategic initiatives. Restructuring is expected to be complete. International growth will continue building momentum, and product costs continue on a downward trend. The results are evident in net income or bottom line growth, putting us on a pace to finish with an estimated $500 million in net revenue.
So next, for our balance sheet overview, Under Armour's cash requirements have primarily been working capital and capital expenditures. Working capital consists of inventory, capital investments, from cash flows from operating activities, cash and cash on hand, borrowing available under our credit and long-term debt facilities, and the assurance of debt securities. Capital investments have included expanding in-store fixture and branded concept shop program, improvements and expansion of distribution and corporate facilities to support growth, leasehold improvements to new factory branded house stores, and investment and improvements in information technology systems. For our balance sheet projections, with one exception, we do not anticipate much change in the balance sheet going forward from our strategic recommendations. We do project a reduction in property, plant, and equipment assets from the suggested restructure and reduction of low-performing factory house stores. Reciprocally, we predict a reduction in long-term debt from the divestment of factory store property and the termination of long-term leases. So next for our EBT/EBIT analysis. So the EPS/EBIT analysis was conducted to see whether the recommendations would be financed by common stock or debt. Neither common stock nor debt showed any differences in their EPS, so the decision was a 50% stock to 50% debt ratio to leverage historically low interest rates while dilution of shares.
Our strategic evaluation was for the long term, increase revenue and profitability. In the short term, close 50 outlet stores, which is 30% that have the lowest sales to save 50% of our operating expenses. Continue to expand and reach overseas using a similar distribution model that is used in the United States. Gain at new athlete endorsements to promote the brand and increase sales. For the measures, we want to review quarterly financial statements, use market analysis to choose countries to operate, and endorse 3 athletes across 3 different sports. For targets, we want to analyze the return on investment of each store, open 3 stores in Asia and 2 in Europe, and create 10 products that well-known athletes want to endorse, such as shoes, clothes, or workout gear. For the customer, in the long term, we want to increase customer satisfaction in order to retain and attract more customers. In the short term, we want to increase customer satisfaction rates to 90%, create a reward system program to increase customer retention, and promote what the company is doing for the environment and society. For the measures, we want to track monthly customer satisfaction survey reports, enroll 90% of customers in a reward system program, and increase social media reach by 40%. In terms of targets, we want to invest in software to track survey reports, finance the software to create and promote the reward system, and use 30% more of advertising budgets for social media platforms. In terms of quality for the long term, we want to create a reputation for high quality products, be known as the highest quality brand in sports. In the short term, we want to invest in technology to create smart products, collect data on customer purchase trends and product feature preferences to forecast trends, and revamp the Under Armour website to personalize shopper recommendations to increase online sales by 30%. In terms of measures, we want to review quarterly project innovation reports, analyze data, and track online sales monthly. For targets, we want to do 3 innovative products per year, reduce amount of leftover merchandise, and invest in software. In terms of learning and growth, we want to create a culture where learning and growth is prioritized and an environment where employees can be innovative and effective. In the short term, we want to design an employee training program to encourage innovation, create a reward system to reward innovative employees, and provide employees with educational opportunities to move up in the organization. For measures, we want to track number of employees who take classes about innovation twice a year, count monetary bonuses awarded to employees who innovate, and add affordable classes offered throughout the year within the organization. For targets, we want to increase percentage of new and innovative products each year by 20%, expand the percentage of employees that do extra work and are innovative by 80%, and increase number of high-level organization employees that were hired within the organization to 30%.
So to conclude, our strategic analysis of Under Armour has identified a multitude of issues and areas of opportunity for improvement. We have considered their vision and mission statements, internal and external evaluations, SWOT and TOES, strategy implementations, and financials. As an old country song claims, we do not know where we're going, but we're making great time. Without a well-organized process for assessing internal strengths, weaknesses, and external opportunities or threats, along with the execution of an action plan to achieve measurable results, an organization can only react in an effort to survive. However, as our case study suggests, a commitment to strategic management will better prepare any organization to proactively anticipate and overcome challenges that will arise. Ultimately, the identification and prioritization of strategic initiatives will position a business to survive and thrive in our hyper-competitive, rapidly changing global marketplace. And then here's our reference page. And thank you for listening.